70 days. It took me 70 in game days to finally see the credits and blueprints. Is that good? Is that bad? I have no idea. What I do know is that there's still so much more to figure out. Blueprints was recently released and seems to have taken the gaming community by storm. While I played it on my Xbox Series X through Game Pass, it is also available on Windows as well as the PlayStation 5. Blueprints is a first person puzzle game where you need to reach the hidden 46th room of an ever changing mansion. Along the way, you'll find clues to puzzles that you'll need to solve, which can appear in essentially every room of the house. The issue is, when you find a clue to a puzzle, it can be multiple in game days until you finally realize where the puzzle is even located within the house. The puzzles can range from something as simple as trying to determine what box will contain the prize, to things so much more complex, like whatever is happening to this dartboard. There are so many clues that it can actually be quite overwhelming, and this is the game that personally made me feel quite stupid at times and incredibly smart at others. Since it's not always obvious what a specific clue is referring to, it can be quite beneficial to either take screenshots all throughout your playthrough, or, like I did, take real life notes, as there is a lot to read in this game. You never know when you'll finally come across the location that a clue was hinting at hours prior. This aspect of the game can be rather difficult to talk about, as I really want to avoid spoiling any puzzle types or solutions, but the vast amount of puzzles will constantly keep you looking for a connection to everything else you've already come across. Just know that if you can't solve something, it's best to move on, but don't forget about it, and right when you least expect it, potentially hours later, that information will definitely come in handy. As for the other aspect of the gameplay, well, it's a first person game, so you'll be constantly walking about this mansion searching the various rooms. However, each in game day, the mansion will reset to a blank canvas, forcing you to start all over. As you approach a doorway, you'll be given three options for rooms to draft, giving you an opportunity to choose what room will be on the other side of the door. This is where strategy comes in. Some rooms have multiple doors leading out, while some rooms are dead ends. Now, at first, it might seem ideal to draft a room with multiple doors, as the more paths allows for more opportunities to reach the end. However, dead ends can offer you items, keys, or in game currency to help you achieve success during the day. There's nothing worse than being so close, having three paths to the end, but finding every door locked. It gives the game an extra layer of thought and strategy. The issue, however, is that sometimes a seemingly good day can be ruined by poor RNG. This is where you need to be flexible in the middle of a run. Do you draft a room that might help you in future runs? Do you draft a room with less doors because you know there's a puzzle in that room you can solve? Do you draft a dead end with hopes of finding a specific item? Being able to adjust halfway through your day is a key element to future success. Just know that if you ever see a new room, it's always a good idea to check it out no matter the cost. The game also has a wonderful art style. Since the vast majority of rooms tend to be quite still, if the art style was a little too bland or less pleasing to the eye, it would make the game feel less captivating to play. Because there's not a lot of action or fast paced movements, having the eye catching art style can help keep the player's attention, especially in the cutscenes. I found the cutscenes to be fantastic. They were intriguing and felt quite intense and dramatic. The game also managed to find a wonderful blend of how many cutscenes there are with the amount of gameplay. As you move forward, there is a sense of progression, which helps keeps you feeling like the previous day was still important and impactful, even if you didn't achieve your goal. As you get further in, there can be things that become permanent changes as you move from one day to the next. However, seeing the blank house each morning is a reminder that, in fact, it is a new day. I do think that while there is obviously a core element to the game, most players will still have varying experiences, as everyone will solve the puzzles and find the new rooms in different orders. Maybe you'll solve a puzzle by day 11, and your friend doesn't solve it until day 29. Some puzzles are going to click with certain players, but don't get discouraged if you can't solve something. Chances are you just haven't come across the one clue you need. But that being said, if you feel like something is too difficult, there's no shame in looking up a guide. Whether you want to know the basic premise of the puzzle or the actual solution, don't be afraid to seek out the information if you need it. This is a game that every time I solved one puzzle, I felt like I uncovered something new about three others, and it can feel quite daunting at times. I kept thinking I was nearing the end, but then I'd come across another challenge. But very little in gaming can compare to when you finally solve a puzzle that you have been struggling with. While I personally enjoyed nearly every aspect of the game, I do understand that it will not be for everyone. I get that taking notes can feel like homework and no one wants that. I get that not understanding a puzzle or getting stuck because of RNG can frustrate a lot of people. I get that the relatively slow paced nature of the game can feel boring to a lot of players. So please be aware that getting into the same wavelength as the game is crucial to your enjoyment of it. As for me, I love these types of games. I loved games like Superliminal and the Portal series, so Blueprints is right in my wheelhouse. And honestly, I love to talk more about it, but I don't really know how without spoiling anything. And while I did see credits on day 70, there's still so much more for me to figure out. And there we have it, my spoiler-free thoughts on Blueprints. If you tried the game, be sure to let me know what day you made it to the end. I'd love to know how quickly everyone was able to figure out some of the puzzles. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing for more video game related content. Thanks for watching.